What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. As many of you have likely heard and are already aware of, the Monte Carlo will be receiving a new bayonet function when its catalyst releases in Season 22. What you might not have realized is just how powerful this new ability is going to be, and how amazing the synergy with this auto rifle and several already top tier builds is about to become. You have no idea how happy it makes me to say these words, but the Monte Carlo is actually about to be the dominating meta in Destiny 2. Once its catalyst has been unlocked, this new bayonet mode will become available after reaching Markov chain times 5. Each regular final blow with the Monte Carlo provides 1 stack of Markov chain, but any melee final blows will provide an instant 5 times Markov chain. When Markov chain is active, you will receive melee energy on consecutive landed hits with the Monte Carlo itself. Currently, when Markov chain is active, the Monte Carlo receives a stacking damage bonus based on how many Markov chain stacks there are. When it full stacks, this provides a 65% increase in the Monte Carlo's overall damage, when in the PvE that is, but currently this only gets applied to the bullet damage. As we can see in the preview footage that Bungie provided, once the bayonet is activated, the stab mechanic registers for over 116,000 points against this ugly space rhino. That's an insane amount of damage to be pumped out by a kinetic auto rifle, even taking into account that this mechanic functions just like a glaive's melee swing. But I don't know the last time that I saw a glaive swing for 116,000 points. That's more damage than a hunter with Liar's Handshake, which puts out around 40,000 points, or a warlock with Karnstein Armlets and Lightning Surge, which still doesn't even put up that much. It's almost as much as a Thunderclapping Titan, which can put out between 140 and 180,000 damage off of a charged melee with the Syntheseps. If this bayonet can benefit from weapon surge mods, then this damage could be increased to the range of 150,000. Considering the base damage of the Monte Carlo's bullets is equivalent to any other auto rifle in its class, which never really exceeds that of just a few thousand points, even when buffed, then this is going to be one of the biggest damage bonuses of any weapon in this game. This spike in damage more than exceeds the capabilities of close to melee, trench barrel, surrounded, or 1-2 punch. And there's a few additional ways that you'll be able to increase the damage output of Monte Carlo and its bayonet mode, like the benefits of Solar Radiance. There's also Disruption Break, a legendary weapon trait that comes on weapons like the Harsh Language. Just as an example, this provides increased kinetic weapon damage after breaking an opponent's shield, and that's a 50% damage bonus, which lasts 5.5 seconds. Since Disruption Break would require swapping weapons, then getting a melee kill to get Markov chain, then swapping to the bayonet mode, and then stabbing your enemy, all of that within 5.5 seconds, well, to say the least, this particular damage increase might be more difficult to pull off. Whisper of Rending, however, on stasis builds will synergize very nicely, as it provides kinetic weapons with a 50% increase in damage against frozen targets, which could make for some especially powerful combinations with several stasis builds, mainly benefiting Titans and Hunters. And then of course you have your standard damage buffs and debuffs like Tractor Cannon and other weakening effects. You've got Divinity, Well of Radiance, Empowering Rifts, and Noble Seekers. It's just hard to imagine, but the Monte Carlo is about to have even better synergy than it already did with some already S-tier builds that feature exotic armor like the Liar's Handshake, the Authry's Embrace, or Omnioculus, just as a few examples for hunters. The Karnstein Armlets, the Sunbracers, Boots of the Assembler, or the combination that I'm especially excited about, the Necrotic Grips. Or there's the Syntheseps and the ACD feedback for those crayon-eating Titans. Honestly, I think it's going to be the Titans who gain the most benefit out of the Monte Carlo having this new bayonet mode. There is a slight caveat though. When the bayonet is engaged, you get 1 swing with the bayonet, and then the Monte Carlo reverts back to its normal mode, where you would then need to build Markov chain right back up again. But when you're rocking builds that feature the aforementioned exotics, along with the regeneration that the Monte Carlo is already providing, then this isn't going to be a problem at all. Since auto rifles will continue to stun barrier champions, the Monte Carlo bayonet should also be able to pierce those and other shields. It's too early to tell if the Monte Carlo could be a serious contender towards topping the DPS charts against any boss. It might have some success versus an up-close boss, but I think where the Monte Carlo will be at its best will be up against champions, mini bosses, tormentors, Lucent Hive, and even even other Guardians, so watch out when this thing hits the Crucible. I'm extremely excited about the release of this new catalyst. After getting Vorpal added to Malfeasance last season, this is a very nice follow-up to a well-deserving exotic, and I think it's going to take over the meta in Season 22, right alongside those hand cannons like the Fatebringer and Malfeasance. To acquire Monte Carlo's catalyst, you will need to hit up playlist activities like Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit. I've always found low-level Nightfalls or the faster-paced Crucible matches like Momentum Control and Mayhem to be the best ways to farm exotic catalysts. Once you've gotten the catalyst, you will need to get kills with the Monte Carlo itself to unlock the Bayonet perk. With the Monte Carlo being a kinetic weapon, it's likely that it will require 700 final blows, which can be quickly done through several fast methods, such as the entrance of Grasp of Avarice. So Guardians, what are your thoughts on the Monte Carlo's new Bayonet catalyst? And what builds do you expect to see taking over the meta in Season 22? Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.